Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants. And I'm gonna rant, well, pretty much about this. Wait 1 second. Yeah, there you go. Maybe it's too complicated of an issue for you all. Grenell excoriates White House press corps over coverage of historic Kosovo and Serbia agreement from Washington Examiner. Given a bit of context, they have been at war for quite some time during the 90s, in which one side attacked the other, and due to pressure from Islamic countries, NATO intervened and, quite rightly so, stopped a huge genocide against the Muslims in Kosovo. So much so that we are still finding graves, mass graves of people buried by the Serbians. Wait 1 second. I think a goddamn mosquito bit me right there. Anyway, and they have been a bit of how am I gonna say it? A bit of a conflict. Diplomatic conflict since then, with one side refusing to recognize the independence of Kosovo and shit going on and on, only until recently in 2008 Kosovo finally decided to succeed and ask for independence, things like that. So what has been achieved here is historic. As you well know, the media don't like portraying Trump in a positive light. So, back to the news. Former acting director of National Intelligence, Richard Grenell, castigated the White House press corps for a perceived lack of interest in Friday's news that Serbia agreed to become the third country to move its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. This is atrocious. You might be too young to understand what this issue is about, Grenell said during a White House press conference that was intended to address the news that Serbia and Kosovo had agreed to a historic agreement to normalize relations. Maybe the older journalists should step up and say, "This is a big deal." I am astounded about what happens in DC, and especially in the White House briefing. And I'm gonna put it over here, and you can listen to what he said.
On a map, but this is atrocious. I have to tell you guys, you might be too young to understand what this issue is about. Maybe the older journalists should step up and say, this is a big deal. This is a big issue. I'm astounded at what happens in Washington, D.C., and especially in this room. I got to tell you, get substantive. Maybe it's too complicated of an issue for you all.
Rick, respectfully, this is the first time we've had the opportunity to speak with these individuals. So
okay, but today's about Kosovo and Serbia. Let's take a little time and talk about this 21-year issue, Peter. I mean, 21-year issue. We're getting the same questions that are all politics. You guys don't understand what's happening outside of Washington, D.C. People aren't listening to you anymore. It's really a crisis in journalism. And I think it's because people are too young to understand issues like Kosovo and Serbia.
All right, can I ask
How about a substantive question?
Please? I don't think any of us came here for a lecture about our questioning.
Okay, well, I didn't come
But the
here
question
to
I would like to ask you...
Well, now you saw how he handled this, and it was fucking epic. Because these people are so unhinged that they actually think that news about something that Trump never said is actually newsworthy. Unfortunately, they don't seem to realize that this is actually much better than some fake news that the Atlantic pooped out. But there we go. I digress. Let's keep reading the news. Grenell, who serves as a special presidential envoy for Serbia and Kosovo peace negotiations, added that the issue is substantive. Maybe it's too complicated for an issue for you all. Grenell continued, "You guys don't understand what's happening outside of Washington, D.C. People aren't listening to you anymore. It's really a crisis in journalism, and I think it's because people are too young to understand issues like Kosovo and Serbia." Grenell was widely criticized by many left-leaning journalists who took the issue with his critique of the media, and the former ambassador to Germany responded to some of those criticisms on Twitter. "I'm not paid," Grenell tweeted in response to Vox's Aaron Rupar. "You get this advice for free. You're welcome. I'm not paid. You get okay. The agreed upon deal normalizes relations between Kosovo, a majority Muslim region, and declared independence in 2008, and Serbia in every area from air and rail to the opening of borders, according to Fox News." Let me go here, and you're going to see a bit of TDS. "I don't know if you could find Kosovo and Serbia on a map. This is atrocious, maybe too complicated of an issue for y'all. It's a disgrace that taxpayers are paying Richard Grenell to smuggling South reporters." Dude, I'll do that for free as well. Because quite frankly, you people are fucking stupid. If you actually think that things that Trump never said are actually news, or then again, you are from Vox, aren't you? Oh, damn. Well, Vox is, well, it's like CNN, but worse. That's how bad Vox is. So no wonder he got triggered over this, because apparently journalists are not actual journalists anymore, but activists. They should kind of stop being activists and do their fucking jobs, I say. But that's too much to ask for people like them. But then again, and before I go even further, remember, don't contact him or anybody shown here on Twitter. Remember, on the control left, if you even mention anything against the narrative, they consider it as a harassment. So please don't contact them, leave them alone. Let's see, why House laser focus on the issue really matter? Well, yes, because you idiots went on a diatribe about those 4 anonymous sources that said something that Trump never said or anything like that, and you people went fucking unhinged. You sat on it for 2 years, and then we used those 4 anonymous sources, which nobody can even vet on or even confirm. And this is more important. You know what? Fuck this. I get tired of these people. Thank you for watching. See you on my next video. Good night.